So, good morning, my friends of class 12 science. Today in this video we will be discussing about the advantages and disadvantages of moving coil galvanometer. Okay, now what is the theory, the construction principle and working of moving coil galvanometer? That is already explained to you in the last lecture. Okay, now see, I told you that actually moving coil galvanometer is a very huge structure. You have to go inside it and then you have to take the readings. Okay, but in laboratories, what kind of galvanometers are available? This kind of galvanometers are available which you are seeing right now. Okay, see, this is not a moving coil galvanometer. First of all, let me tell you, this is not a moving coil galvanometer. This is a deadbeat galvanometer. What's the difference between moving coil galvanometer and deadbeat galvanometer? See, moving coil galvanometer is very huge. This is the first disadvantage. Okay, and once you pass the current, it will take about 3 to 10 minutes. For 3 to 10 minutes it is going to oscillate and then it is going to give you a stable reading. But in case of deadbeat galvanometer, that is this one, it will show you reading in a flicker, in a very short time. It can show you stable readings. Now you can see that in this galvanometer there are some terminals. This one, red, is the positive terminal. This is black, which is the negative terminal. Okay. Now, not only in this, but if in any electric circuit or any kind of electric wiring you see, if you see red terminals, it is always positives, and if you see black terminals, it is always negatives. Alright. Now, what is this? This is a DC moving coil galvanometer. This is DC moving coil. Okay, that means this galvanometer can be used only for DC currents. You know, current is of two types, DC and AC. Okay, the galvanometer which we have discussed in the previous video and this galvanometer also, they will function not for AC but only for DC. The second disadvantage. Okay, the third disadvantage, that it is very sensitive. It is very sensitive. So, what is the disadvantages of being very sensitive? That means for a very small fraction of current flowing through the moving coil galvanometer, it will show large deflection, and the deflection will be so large, the deflection will be so forceful that sometimes it goes dhadam and it breaks. Okay, the internal coil will get damaged. This is one more disadvantage of moving coil galvanometer. Okay, then there are some advantages also. See, the very first advantage is that we can change its sensitivity according to our requirement. We know that sensitivity depends on 4 factors. The total number of turns, magnetic field, area of the coil, and the force constant of the spring, K. Now, you can increase or decrease the value of K. Okay, but see, sensitivity is inversely proportional to K. Whether it is voltage sensitivity or it is current sensitivity, refer the formula. Current sensitivity is NBA upon K and voltage sensitivity is NBA upon KR. Alright, so when you decrease the value of K, the sensitivity will increase. Alright, so we have to use as the spring for which the value of K is very less, and so the springs are made up of a material which is either quartz or it is phosphor bronze. Clear? Number 1 quartz, number 2 phosphor bronze. If you use these materials, then the value of K is very less and the sensitivity is very large. Clear? Another advantage is that this kind of galvanometer is not affected by external magnetic field as well as external electric field. ठीक है? अभी आप बोलोगे सर मूविंग कॉइल galvanometer को अपन यूज करते हैं ना, तो इफ यू आर यूजिंग इट ऑन आवर लैब, तो लैब तो अर्थ के ऊपर है, तो अर्थ की भी अपनी एक सर्टेन मैग्नेटिक फील्ड होती है. ठीक है, तो क्या ये पॉइंटर जो है वो अर्थ की मैग्नेटिक फील्ड से इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं होगा? होना चाहिए. But the arrangement of this moving coil galvanometer, it is placed inside a metallic box, so that the external magnetic field and the external electric field, they do not cause any change in the value of the reading which it is taking. Alright, now see, this is actually the moving coil galvanometer. There are other meters also. You know that now one more advantage of galvanometer, that it can easily be converted into other forms. Okay, it can easily be converted into, see, this moving coil galvanometer or this galvanometer can be converted into another device, that is voltmeter. But you see the difference. See, in the galvanometer the 0 is at the center, and on the left side you have some 20 divisions, on right side again you have some 20 different divisions. Okay, but in this voltmeter 0 is on one side and all the divisions are on single side. That means इस तरफ सारे divisions है, उस तरफ कुछ भी नहीं है. So when you are connecting a galvanometer, आप उसको उल्टा सीधा कैसे भी कनेक्ट कर सकते हो, ठीक है. That means instead of putting positive terminal into red and negative terminal into the black one, you can even reverse it. Positive अगर black में डाल दिया, negative अगर red में डाल दिया तो भी चलता है, लेकिन voltmeter में ये नहीं चलेगा. There the positive terminal has to be in the red terminal and the negative terminal has to be in the black terminal. Same way, moving coil galvanometer can be easily converted into ammeter. Clear? It can be easily converted. Now these are ammeters, voltmeters and galvanometers. We have one more device like that, very much common to this, and this is a multimeter. This is a multimeter. Now you can see in this multimeter, you can measure many things. You can measure the resistance. Let me show you these two terminals and this. You can measure resistance. Here this is DCMA, that means DC milliampere. Okay, then it can be used to measure the DC voltage also. From these terminals you can use DC voltage, and from these 5 terminals you can use AC voltage also. ठीक है, देखो जो गैल्वेनोमीटर, एमीटर और वोल्टमीटर मैंने आपको दिखाए थे वो सिर्फ डीसी के लिए यूज होते हैं. ये मल्टीमीटर है, एंड दिस मल्टीमीटर कैन बी यूज्ड फॉर measuring DC values as well as AC values. Okay, these were the some advantages, some disadvantages of moving coil galvanometer, and that's all for this video. In the next video we will be taking care of how our galvanometers converted into voltmeter and ammeter. ठीक है, अब last thing before I go, देखो दुनिया में जो बेसिक मीटर बना है ना वो यही है, मूविंग कॉइल गैल्वेनोमीटर ही है. ठीक है, तो मूविंग कॉइल गैल्वेनोमीटर कैन बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू वोल्टमीटर, यस. इट कैन बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू एमीटर, यस. इट कैन बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू मल्टीमीटर, यस. इट कैन बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू पावर मीटर्स. पावर मीटर्स जो घर में बिजली का बिल दिखाते हैं. ओके, दैट इज ऑल्सो बेसिकली व्हाट, इट इज अ मूविंग कॉइल गैल्वेनोमीटर ओनली. वन मोर थिंग, कैन इट बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू स्पीडोमीटर. स्पीडोमीटर पता है ना, जो गाड़ी में लगा होता है, कार्स में, बाइक्स में, जो बताता है कि कितनी स्पीड से गाड़ी चल रही है. दैट इज व्हाट, बेसिकली दैट इज ऑल्सो ए मूविंग कॉइल गैल्वेनोमीटर. ठीक है, मूविंग कॉइल गैल्वेनोमीटर इतना वर्सेटाइल है कि आप उसे किसी भी अलग अलग मीटर में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो. ठीक है, एंड दैट इज व्हाई सिलेबस में इसकी इंपॉर्टेंस इतनी ज्यादा है. ऑल द मीटर्स दैट यू सी विच आर इलेक्ट्रिकल इन नेचर, जितने भी इलेक्ट्रिकल मीटर्स होते हैं वो सारे के सारे मूविंग कॉइल गैल्वेनोमीटर्स ही होते हैं, बट दे आर कन्वर्टेड, दे आर मॉडिफाइड. ठीक है, ये एक एडवांटेज भी है मूविंग कॉइल गैल्वेनोमीटर का, दैट इट कैन बी मॉडिफाइड एंड इजीली कन्वर्टेड इनटू मीटर्स ऑफ अदर फॉर्म्स. थैंक यू वेरी मच.